If they do that, the Cougs will be very, 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 very tough to beat.
Off the window, no. Roberts tried to get it. Shed for the win. Got it.
Just with 14 points, but you just look, the way that he dominated the game was in controlling the pace and making smart decision after decision.
Call him by Slamma Jamma.
Go to pizza spot before or after.
The dream is alive for Houston. Go Cougs! Let's go!
Welcome into another episode of Let's Rage Coogs, presented by the Saxenian Family. We're coming off the heels of a thrilling and exciting game in day one of the Players Festival tournament between the number 9th ranked Alabama Crimson Tide and the 6th ranked Houston Cougars. It was Alabama that came out on top in Vegas, 85-80, the final score in overtime. The Cougars, well, they really struggled offensively in that overtime period, and of course, they had to do it without Milos Uzan and Emmanuel Sharp, who fouled out during regulation. And we'll get into everything that happened between Houston and Alabama in a second. But joining me, as always, Kris Gardner of the Houston Roundball Review, Dayon Dunlap. How are y'all doing on this Tuesday night in Houston?
Doing okay. Could be better. We talk about a Cougs win, but I'm all right.
It's close.
Yeah, I'm doing well. Just kind of irritated with the refs, how they called that game down the stretch.
Yeah, it wasn't consistent. It wasn't consistent at all. Yeah.
You know what? Let's just start right there and let's get it out the way, because the frustration, the inconsistent, the switch. I don't know what kind of conversation the officials had at halftime, because the first half was physical. It was physical. The players were sliding all over the floor. They were diving for balls. There were a lot of possessions, a lot of plays that might have been called a flagrant in the second half that were just, they were letting the teams play. Halftime happens. I don't know what conversation they have. And then in the second half, they were calling everything. And I mean everything. Ticky-tack fouls. The fifth foul on Emmanuel Sharp, that was
ridiculous.
Terrible. It was a terrible call. Player just fell on his own. Emmanuel had nothing to do with that.
Literally same calling OT, and they don't call it.
Penultimate possession for the Cougars. LJ Cryer gets pushed. The hand is there. The Alabama player has his hand on LJ Cryer's back. He falls. Then he gets kneed in the face. No call. Somehow the ball ends up in Malik Wilson's hand. He falls. No call. And the game is over there. Alabama gains possession. Houston has to foul, and they were already down 4, which is frustrating because from the inconsistent standpoint, first half they let them play. Second half they don't let them play, but for the most part they were consistent throughout. And then overtime in that possession, they decide to go away with the precedent they had set. Now that's not the reason Houston lost, but it's definitely frustrating.
It's frustrating. There were 29 fouls called in the second half, 2 called in overtime.
That's so ridiculous.
So all of a sudden, the physicality that was called in the 20 minutes of the second half, you decided not to call. Just be consistent. That's the thing. Just be consistent. And I want to go ahead. I'm curious what Dayon, excuse me, and Andy think about this. But JG. Coach Sampson drew up play. The fellas stopped giving the ball to LJ Cryer. The high screen and the drop coverage that Alabama was in a whole bunch of the game, LJ got hot. bucket, and then he cooled off. He got tired.
Well, he cooled off, and down the stretch, Houston's only offensive stretch was him, real threat.
Yeah, you don't have to change the play calling when it's working. That high screen was working. That drop coverage was working. Now, he did have issues with a taller defender. I'll grant that. But he got into the paint.
Figured it out.
He left shots short. His three-point shooting so far this season, he's missed a lot of his threes short. And then he down the stretch again, like against Auburn. He left floaters in the paint short. He missed his last 8 shots tonight. Against Auburn, he missed like his last 5 or 6 shots. So gotta get that corrected. But I'm just the inconsistency with the fouls bothers me more than anything else. The Cougs gonna learn from this. Saw some good things, but one of the ironic things was, and I know I'm being long-winded, JoJo had like 8 blocks, and like 5 of them Bama recovered and scored off of them. That's just one of those things too. He blocked
I've never
it,
seen
tip
that
in. Bama guy whose shot was blocked catches it, and then drives, gets a layup. It's just strange stuff like that happened too. You know, it
I
happens.
haven't seen that. Multiple, not just one. Like you said, Kris, five times.
Yeah, man. LJ had a great game. LJ had the game I expected. I think I kind of said this after the last game. I was expecting him to have this game, but I will say he has to become a better 2-point scorer, not only for this team but for his career going forward. Because that's and watching him, that's where you can tell he's me watching him, observing him. I could tell he's still learning that aspect as far as with the ball in his hands. He made a lot of good decisions, creating his shot and creating plays for his others. But you could tell it isn't that natural. Once he get in that intermediate area, when to go to his floater, you can tell he's still thinking the game a little bit in those situations. But I like what I've seen from him. I liked how he set the tone. He got it going when Houston missed 11 shots in a row. LJ was quiet. Then I think he's still developing that, what people may call that killer instinct, and kind of how we've seen Quentin Grimes grow into it. I think he can still develop that and be even a little bit more aggressive. But overall, it hurt with Milo's fouling out, Emmanuel fouling out. But still, I like the comment right here. I think this is very, very telling right here. I want to say it's more scheming to win games. I will say I was questionable coming out of that timeout. Would have changed at the ball was primarily in Malik hands, so I don't really know about that.
Yeah, I don't like that.
Yeah, but overall, I think the lack of scoring and with this team, although it's small because Milo's fouled out, I think with him on the floor, Emmanuel on the floor, it's a different game. But I still think this team is still points and emphasis in times where everyone is just man to man. I seen Malik take a step up today. It was times in that first half where people looked like they didn't want the ball, and Malik was like, "Give it to me.
Yeah,
I'll go do something with it." And so, like, it's just different moments that you kind of watch the game. You can see players who like want the ball in certain situations. And I think this team, I mean, I like one thing I will say, JoJo's special, man. JoJo is special. Like, he got to be on the floor. Like, I don't see no scenario where I see why he plays as many as he does. But I think with a game like this with J1, I know I'm long-winded too, but with J1, I was kind of wondering, can we see JVR and JoJo together, especially with JoJo showing the versatility that he's still developing? Because it was times that we really exclusively don't see JoJo and JVR. Right. He went small with Ramon, and then once they did that, they got hurt with an offensive rebound, and he came back bigger with J1. So my thinking is, I mean, I'm not questioning Coach Sampson, I trust him, but it was just in those moments, it's a tough game like this, maybe you need that extra rebounding, and JoJo can still give you all that he can give you. But JoJo's special. He impacts the game in so many ways that you can't even have a stat sheet for it.
But this, and she's right. This is true. Juan had one rebound tonight. One. That's one more than us.
He struggled on the boards this year.
He did.
One. That's we didn't play. He had one rebound more than us.
That's why I wanted JV. Yeah. Exactly to my point. Exactly. Because if he isn't rebounding and he isn't scoring and making play, he got a rebound. I know he was impacted by his eye. It was swollen. You can see it noticeably, so I can see that.
Yeah.
But he got a rebound on.
So, I saw some good things. I saw some things to work. Milos, he started out well and got 2 early fouls. And he sat the rest of the first half. So his rhythm was gone. The offense kind of bogged down for a bit in the first half. And then the fouls he got. And I think even the first half foul, the refs called Emmanuel for tripping near half court. I'm not sure that was a trip. Okay, I think the guy clipped over his own feet at half court, was off balance, and then fell down on his own. And then the ref said, "Oh, well, it's a foul on Sharp." If you didn't see it, don't call it. Don't guess on a call. In that fifth foul, Emmanuel, my man just fell down on his own. I mean, no.
Yeah.
This was a game I was looking for Terrence to step up too. Terrence, you could tell. I would just say he's still coming back from that injury.
Yeah,
this is one of those games where he had the opportunities. He was on the floor where he could have got the ball in certain spots and made plays. So I will caveat say this by saying, like, I know he's still coming back. He ain't fully himself, but there were spots when he was on the court, he could have made a bigger impact and made his state of who he is and what he can do on the court. I didn't see it though. I know it's just only one game though.
He had a nice floater in the first half, but there were times you said it, Dayon. There were times that too many guys did not want the ball.
They don't want
it. Terrence, you got to do that sometimes. Yeah. I'll say this: I know it was because of foul trouble for the most part, but the fact Coach Sampson put Mercy in the game toward the end was, I think, a step.
Start overtime.
He should have kept him in there. He scored the only overtime bucket.
So I think it might have been something. Yeah, it might have been something when on defense or the rebounding that he put Ramon in there in overtime.
Yeah, his defense still needs work.
Grant Nelson got a rebound over Mercy. He couldn't block out. He was too big, and then he came in with Ramon. But at the same time, you need scoring. I mean, I get it, but I'm just saying. Yeah, this team don't need scoring.
Because
he's going to have to just let him play through the mistakes. He's going to just let him do that. He's young. We all know that, and Coach Sampson knows way more than all of us. But I mean, part of Let's Rage Coogs, we're going to nitpick on Coach and some things we didn't like. It doesn't mean he's a bad coach, anything like that.
Right. Or we're questioning him or anything like that.
I mean, but like the ball in Malik's hands, the final play in regulation, and then going to LJ baseline. Middle of the floor was better for LJ than the baseline, shot.
This is a good point too, Chris B. I did see it seem like this.
So but you can see LJ was tired. I mean, he played.
LJ was tired, especially LJ.
He was exhausted.
Matter of fact, Sirius said it at his post-game interview. He said that we could tell that they were tired, and he said we practiced for moments like this. We were more prepared, and it seemed like that. It did seem like LJ was tired, and everyone was looking to get the ball to LJ. That's how it seemed. But I will say with Malik, I like what I see from Malik though. When he came in and he seen how give me that rock straight to the cup. He was ready. I think it's still he ain't that natural playmaker because he get in those moments you could tell where he practicing. But if it was natural for him, when he got the defense at certain moments, he would just attack and then make certain natural plays. But he ain't but he could do it. I like Malik. I like what he did today. He didn't have a best game, but when he came in, he locked down Sears so bad. They should,
especially in that last drive until the very end. Man, he played great defense.
He reached down unnecessarily.
The very end. The very end.
He had him on lock though.
I think this game we see how important Milo Suzan is to this offense because there was a night and day difference when he was on the bench and when he was on the floor for Houston because when he was on, the Cougars were able to run effectively. He was able to run the offense, his ability to drive, hit that big three to start that 10-0 run rally that the Cougars had to go on top against Alabama late down the stretch in the second half. And that was one of the other reasons why Houston struggled so much in overtime because I agree, Dayon. Malik played a great game. He's not the natural point guard. Like he can't. It's not natural when he has to initiate the offense. Nope. And it was clearly different. Even LJ, just the energy that he had exerted so much, and really Alabama knew that he was there in that overtime stretch. He was the only stretch offense. So they were sending everyone. There's so much energy that LJ had to exert just to get the ball and then to try to find an opening that whenever he would get the shot, that's a lot of energy. Part of the big reason why everything was short. And then no Emmanuel either. No, they really had no other options, no threats on offense, especially once Mercy Miller got taken out in overtime.
I'm going to tackle this point here. Emmanuel and LJ are the backup point guard, but Emmanuel was in foul trouble. Milo's got in foul trouble. Then Emmanuel got in foul trouble.
Yeah.
It's going to be by committee. Malik has a ball in his hands and he can run off. The backup point guard spot is by committee. Okay, there is no true backup point guard. So you're going to see some flaws and struggles when Los is in foul trouble or when Los takes a breather. He picked up 2 bad turnovers, and he The foul took him out of rhythm. He was probably trying to play, do so much in front of his friends and family, playing in front of his hometown folks. So all of that went against him as well. And the refs, like I said, some of the fouls called, and both sides, because there was a point. Second half, it seemed like all the fouls were going against Houston. And then the refs said, "Oh no, let's start calling fouls in Alabama." I mean,
they try to be consistent. They were just a lot of those calls were just terrible.
Yeah, I mean, both of you guys is point guard point. I think both of you are spot on, and I think that's why it's so important when Los is not on the court. That's why LJ got so tired. Yeah. Because not only did he have to play make for himself, but play make for others. And like Andy just described, when he had to get it for himself, he had to exude so much energy. Or if he then we didn't even count defense, the energy that he's spending on defense. So it was a lot on LJ's plate when Los isn't on the court, because he gives them that other person who can play make or get downhill, can just naturally make those plays. And even with Emmanuel, I think I liked Emmanuel's approach to the game and how he started the game and how he came out and was making his shots and doing the things that he do well. But I think but it's definitely important. I think that definitely is a key role, because you might have games where Los might be in foul trouble or anything could happen. And I think that's an Achilles heel is who can initiate the offense, not only but who can run it. Like when it gets tired and the game gets like this in the half court set, who can create not only either for yourself or for somebody else, and who can have the floor spread to make those shots. And I think that's key. I think that backup, call it a point guard, but backup ball handler, because those three guards are really interchangeable.
Let's pause for a second real quick, Chris.
Andy. Oh, go ahead. Pay the bills.
Yeah, just got to plug our sponsors, beginning with the Saxenian Family. Big thank you to Mr. Steve Saxenian for being the primary sponsor of tonight's episode of Let's Rage Coogs, as he has been all season long for both football and men's basketball. Of course, we also like to say thank you to Star Pizza with 3 locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game. They've been around the Houston area since 1976. They always have free delivery, and they make sure that their pizza is hot and ready for you to eat once you get it via delivery. And be sure to stop by any one of their locations for their all-you-can-eat pizza buffet on Tuesdays and Fridays. They'll be closed on Thanksgiving, but they'll be open all the other days of the week. So be sure to follow them on social media as well at Star Pizza HOU, or visit them online at starpizza.net. All right, Chris, take it away.
To what's it? Big Texaco's comment. Who's Alabama's backup point guard behind Mark Sears? That true backup.
Well, they got a true one. Holloway. He was the number 1 point guard coming out last year, transferred from Auburn. He can naturally do it. I think that position is a little more solidified than ours.
But my point is, there's not a lot of teams have legit backup point guards after your starting point guard. Okay, true point guards. A lot of teams have combo guards. If Terrence, once he gets healthy and conditioned, he might be able to initiate the offense some. There's a lot of different guys who can do it some. Very few teams have 2 true point guards.
Yeah. And we didn't see Terrence. I see a comment asked about Terrence and OT. We didn't see Terrence and OT, but also I think maybe it's the cap on minutes. He played his cap on minutes.
21 minutes, yep.
Yeah, and didn't get back in. I didn't.
And Kelvin says that the more minutes he plays, like that Achilles still gets sore.
Right.
Okay.
Terrence says that too. Yeah, he's not.
Okay.
He's not at a point where he can play a lot of minutes without pain or discomfort. I'd say discomfort more than anything. But a JG about Wilson had the green light. Going back to Dayon's point, there was sometimes his teammates didn't want to shoot.
Like they looking like they don't want to shoot. I'm telling you, like, all right, and they giving him the shot. He made one, so they gotta let the defense know. Like,
and he was driving and getting to the basket.
I can make this.
He got a shot block twice, but at least he was attacking. He was being aggressive.
Yeah, exactly.
There were too many times that some of his teammates were not being aggressive, and that can't happen.
Yeah. Not even looking at the baskets to score. It's
gotta
like, nah, he got it, and nah.
And I think go ahead, Dayon.
I was gonna say.
Yeah. I was gonna say this is also a testament to Alabama, because there were a lot of times throughout the game, not just late down the stretch or in overtime, when Houston's offense looked out of sync. Like they just kept passing it to their bigs, and at times JoJo struggled to find their guards. They like to write a lot of DHOs and give Alabama credit. They made it hard for Houston's offense to initiate. A lot of times they would start it with 10 seconds left on the shot clock, and Houston kind of had to rush. That was a big part down the stretch when Alabama went on the run and built an 8-point lead. It just seemed like Houston's offense was out of sync. And this is another credit to Alabama. There were spurts there when Houston was crashing the offensive boards, but for the most part, Alabama did a good job on the rebounds and holding Houston to one and done possessions again, even especially in that run when they built that 8-point cushion.
Well, I mean, they crashed the old boards in the first half. That was the reason. But again, some of those were after Tugler block shots that they caught themselves and put rotation back. You know, things like that happen. But there's nitpicking here and there. You know, Manuel was sharp. Man's got the green light. Some of his shot selection, I think, could be. I want to be better. He had a drive. I wish he would have pulled it back instead of going in and getting his shot blocked. And I think that led to a 3-point bucket for Alabama. He's so aggressive. He throws his body around. Sometimes he needs to just, you know, pull it back out, set up the offense some. But the Cougs were up 2. Closing moments of the second half, and then that foul call.
A sharp foul.
Okay, we're talking all this stuff about problems, this, that, and other. They were up 2, and the refs called that 5th foul on Emmanuel. It wasn't a foul.
Bad call, yo.
You know, come on now, folks.
They should have won this game. But I think with Emmanuel, I liked his approach to start the game. And so I kind of get what that comment is hitting at, because I kind of feel the same way as I want more from Emmanuel, and I want him to be able to. I think the team needs it, but I think it's more about a full game, not just in spurts or not just. It's about a full game, and I think what we've seen from Houston guards and how they step up when they're in that spot that he's in, I think that's why we have the expectation, or me specifically, just speaking for myself, expectation. And we've seen them do it in spurts. So I think like LJ had this game, I want Emmanuel to at least have 15 or 20, not just what he had, 10, right?
He had 14.
He had 14.
Because he had 8 free throws.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
8 free throws. See, I need him at least have 15 to 20.
Yep.
With Emmanuel was 30. Our top 2 scoring guards, we need that production. And I think that's just kind of me, kind of nitpicking and being selfish, because I think that would help the team so much.
But we also have to hammer home again. Javier Francis, Juwan Roberts, 3 combined rebounds.
Yeah.
3. That's not enough from your starting 4 and 5. That's not gonna get it done.
Diabate, I see that hard hat he had on after the game. I love that. Like, he earned that. He was the biggest. Like, he went and got it. Yeah, we need to implement that. I like that.
You know, Juan only had 1 rebound. That's just not. That's not good enough from a 6-year vet.
And I heard during the broadcast, the sideline reporter, it was during the sideline, they asked, she was like, that Coach Sampson, she quoted, that asked J1, now can you play? And some expletive words in between that. And okay, well, if you can, get come on, let's play.
Yeah.
And so, like,
and no boards after that either from him. No rebounds.
Right. So I'm sure that Coach Samp would be on J1 Lee. Got to get those boards. That's what we're known for. You got to rebound. And so credit to Alabama, but they feel like that they outbeat us in our type game.
Yeah, that's twice this
refs
year.
help them though. We got to preface all this, like Kris just said. You're right. That moment, like, we looking at all this, but he's presenting this game and should have won this game. Like,
yeah, I mean, there were issues, rebounding, a lot of different things. You know, not making shots from certain folks. Cougs were up two, and then the ref called a foul on Manuel Sharp, and his ball handler fell down on his own. On the trail, fell down on his own, and then made the free throws.
That tied it up.
You know. So I mean, that's that. Hey, that's part of it. And Juwan, I expect him to get a lot of rebounds tomorrow against Notre Dame. He didn't get it done tonight.
How many minutes did JVR play? It don't say on my screen.
12.
12. See, I
And
know
was in
he
foul
didn't
trouble.
get.
Foul trouble. Yeah.
Yeah.
12 minutes. Uzan again. That was big. He only had 12 minutes himself. JoJo Tugler had 31 minutes. Terrence played 21.
Played a lot of those with 4 fouls too. Surprisingly.
Yeah. He was able to stay out. Once he picked up that fourth, like he did a better job playing without fouling.
Ramon had only 7 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Just for hustle.
Mercy only 8 minutes.
He could have done, put him against the
I mean,
something.
But only 7 minutes. And you know what you're gonna get out of Ramon Walker. He got 3 rebounds in those 7 minutes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Yeah. JoJo, he also got to be able to finish around the rim. He's so good in every other area. He still has to be a threat on the dive. On that pick and roll, he has to be a threat to at least be able to catch and get a quick jump hook, quick floater, quick finish around the rim, and not always have to catch a oop or catch his wide open shots. He has to be able to develop it and succeed in that dunker spot, a la Aaron Gordon or players like that. He's so athletic and he can do those things. He has the potential to be a great player. Just watching him.
Yeah, you can see the potential.
Man,
that
kid.
He's a pro.
I see why he's on the court. He got to be on the court.
He's a pro. Yeah.
But sometimes we might have to go with him and JVR just for size, like you with teams like they play today, who is so physical and has the length. Although Ramon came in and we got those rebounds in 7 minutes, he still was too little.
Yeah.
In
No
the
doubt.
big moments where like he was still too little. And so like
you're not going to want him to guard guys like Hunter Dickinson once they get into the Big 12 conference play. Like, bro, it comes down to JVR and Jawan. They got to play better.
And JVR's got to stay out of foul trouble because some of two of his 4 fouls were legit fouls. He's got to avoid that. JoJo is so active and such a quick second and third leaper. He gets over the back. Sometimes they're fouled, sometimes they're not. But my goodness, you can just see his upside is just so high. But his offense, what was it? The last game he was perfect from the floor.
6 for 6, I think.
Tonight 1 for 5. As Coach Sampson said, he may never have another game like that. He's got to be consistent, though. He's got to be consistent in the shots that he gets. He has to make those. What you expect them to make around the rim,
inside that paint in the immediate area. He got to be like these
threes. I'm not gonna worry about threes. He makes some, whatever. But around the paint, he got to make those at a higher clip.
I make those at a high clip. I agree 100%, 1000%. You just break the game down, like, man, if he can get 4 to 6 points, like on pick and rolls along, man, if he break the game down in increments and ways that he can put the ball in the basket without having to make a move, that'd be monumental. But I mean, I love what he did so much. LJ took 26 shots. He did take a lot of shots. He had to, though.
He had to out there.
And a lot of them came at the end. Floaters.
Yeah.
Floaters were short, kept coming back to him. So, I mean,
this is right. You're right on right here, Crabtree. I mean, coach is definitely still learning his team, learning the rotations, learning what spots, who can do what needs what. And all this is learning. Coach Sampson was just talking about in his press conference how many losses Auburn had last year. What was it, Kris? 12?
Alabama.
Alabama.
12,
and they went to the Final Four.
Yeah.
And so Coach Sampson is a mastermind in prefacing statements, being well calculated, knowing like, okay, we may lose some games this year. That's why we schedule this schedule. Yeah. But in years past, where he scheduled not so common schedules, because he's well calculated.
Yeah,
he's well calculated that.
And
well calculated.
He realizes this team has potential to be very, very good. That's why it's scheduled this way, non-conference. And I think it was Chris B or somebody very early in the comments of today's show. Family. There were some years y'all were complain about the Cougars complain about it non-conference. They don't schedule anybody tough. Well, okay, now they're playing some tougher games, and they've lost by what, 5 twice?
Yep.
2 top 10 teams, and tonight again up 2, and you don't even get a chance to play defense. It's taken away from you by a foul call that wasn't a foul.
Right.
And I'm not one to blame refs, because just be consistent. Okay,
That's
just
it.
be consistent.
Just be consistent. Call it the same.
Just call it the same. Guy falling down on his own, that's not a foul on the defense.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not.
Yeah, that was bad. But Emmanuel, like they just said, 3 from 11. I need more, Emmanuel. Yeah. I need more, man. I need more in that spot, because he can. I like the way he started the game, though. That's why I want to give him credit, because I like the way he started. I like his aggressiveness. I like
he was aggressive.
Approach.
Yeah,
right.
He was, and decisive in his moves. And then Malik came in with that same energy. I think LJ kind of picked up off of that energy, got going. That's why I like it. It all works together in unison. One game it might be another player, but those guards, you need that. And I think Milos, it's funny because Coach Sampson said that they realized Milos hadn't fouled out or gotten certain, then he asked him to foul.
Right.
Look, he fouls out.
Yeah.
So now he's gonna tell him like foul, but don't. So it's all learning, man. It's all learning. But I like this team.
I do too. The game against Auburn, LJ Cry had 2 early fouls.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Didn't play the rest of the first half. Tonight against Alabama, Los had 2 early fouls. So the backcourt, especially the vets, starting guards, can't have that issue, because the other guys, the younger guys, aren't ready yet. Mercy Miller, his time is coming.
I want to see more plays drawn up for him, though, because like the few plays that I remember right offhand drawn up from his out of bounds, and he come out, he knocks him down.
That baseline jumper, is money.
Like wide open, he making it. I want to see, because maybe in a game like this, you draw something to see if you can get them going. Be intentional with. But to me, watching the game, in my opinion, it seems like Coach Samp, I would say his release is just short for freshmen. Not that he don't want to play him.
Especially on defense. No, he's just really.
You got.
He got.
No, you can tell there was. I think it was an overtime when he
on
put
defense.
Yeah, and he was pissed. He was pissed, and he immediately took him out. Yeah.
But he made his free throws. He made his 2 free throws, because earlier games, his free throw shooting was bad, but his upside is high. But yeah, his one-on-one defense, like a lot of freshmen, is not very good. We can go back to some freshmen, Armani Brooks. Armani's defense one-on-one was not good at all, but time in the system, it got better because he had no choice if he wanted to get consistent minutes. Mercy will get there, and he knows. He said it after the last game. Coach Sampson's hard on him because he wants and expects a lot from him. He pushes him to be better. He'll get there. Again, we just go back to it. This team has such upside with Mercy and JoJo, Terrence Arsenal getting healthier and being able to play more minutes. You can just see it. The potential is there for this team. I'm not worried about this team losing in games in November. My goal, Dayon, you know it, is to get those 6 wins come tournament time. That's what I want. Get that natty. I'm not sure what happened to our friend Andy Yanez. I kind of want him to hear the comments from Kris Cenac, his commitment, well, Coach Sampson as well. There's Andy. Come on back so we can play this and hear this together. You ready, sir?
Was it only picked out?
You went away, man. I didn't play it. I want you to come back so you could hear it. Yeah.
Okay. For a second, it looked like all of us had been kicked out. I thought the stream had malfunction.
You ready?
Yep. Let's play the clip.
All right. This is earlier today. You're a Coug fan, Coug alum, Coug supporter. You've already heard that top center in the class 25, Kris Cenac, announced his commitment. This is a clip, part of his comments and talking with Bleacher Report, and I forgot to name Paige Kuhn, I think her last name is Kuhn, with Bleacher Report. It's on the Bleacher Report app. The very first part of it, you'll see Kris eating some wings. I think it's part of his NIL deal with BW3. So that's why he's doing that. But here it is. Check it out.
Well, first of all, I'm happy for his family, especially his mother, Sharita, his father, Kris Sr., and his little sister, Corey. I know this has been an arduous process to get to this point, but as we progress with this with Kris, I can't say enough about Quantas White, who is the point person for Kris, being able to lay the groundwork, get all the behind-the-scenes stuff done, the hours and hours of evaluation and going to see Kris play all over the country. But just as Kris chose us, we chose him too. And I think it's important to know how important Kris's family is in this and supported him every step of the way. He's got a great mother in Sharita, tremendous father, Kris. His little sister, Corey, again, were all important in this decision for him. But we're excited about Kris. We think he has the chance to really improve and get better and reach all of his goals and dreams. He was very consistent about what he was looking for from day one. He wanted to go somewhere where he was going to get challenged and pushed and be the best he can be. And I think that's why he chose Houston, and we're excited that he's here, and I can't wait to start working with him in the summer.
Awesome. Well, you talked a lot about the recruiting process with him. I'm sorry, Kris, go ahead. Do you want to say anything else to Coach before we ask him a few questions about you?
Nah, I was just thanking him. I mean, him recruiting me since the beginning for like almost everyone, so just want to thank him a lot. I'm ready to work. I'm ready to get better.
Look at
I
that.
can't wait.
And he's funny.
Yeah. No, Kris is, I think, a coach's dream. He wants to be good. He's got the talent. He's got the drive. Now let's put the time and effort and purposeful work in. Let's see how good, and let's see how far we can take this. I mean, we're all excited. Our whole staff. My whole staff is sitting here by me, so they're just as excited as I am.
Well, we love to hear the excitement. Coach, what is it specifically maybe on the court that captured your attention with Kris during the recruiting process?
I think his versatility. I don't, Kris isn't really a center. He's a basketball player more than he's a position player. We like the fact that he can stretch the floor with the three ball. We also like the fact that he can pass it and make his teammates better. But the areas of his game that he needs to improve on are the things that I think that we've been pretty good at here, whether it's with Jarris Walker or Jamal Shedd, Quentin Grimes, Marcus Sasser. We've had a lot of driven kids that's been drafted into the NBA, and I see Kris as one of those guys.
Now, before he gets to the NBA, how do you see him impacting your team next season?
Well, we're going to lose some key seniors, especially our starting four-man in J1 Roberts. We think Kris can come in here and be a versatile big, help us stretch the floor with his three-point shooting, bang the boards and rebound, be a shot blocker, and be complete. We're not going to plug him in one area. We're going to use him all over the floor. But I think his greatest strength right now is his skill set and his versatility.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much again for joining us. Kris, any parting thoughts for your coach?
I'm ready to work, Coach. That's all I got.
I can't wait to. And again, I want to congratulate his mom, Sharita, and his dad, Kris Sr., and his little sister, Corey. They've been awesome every step of the way.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Coach, for joining us, and good luck tonight.
There you have it.
Yeah, that was a high end of the stream.
Bleacher Report app. Technology is a beautiful thing. We know how to work it, and you got folks who know how to work it for you as well. So, but yeah, that was exclusive on the Bleacher Report app, and lo and behold, I got it. What do I think about what Coach Sampson said about utilizing Kris Cenac next year?
They're going to use him all around. They're not going to pigeonhole him into one position. That's the big thing that's got to perk your ears. And I like how honest he was, even in that stream. He told them his weaknesses. He talked about his weaknesses, about what he needs to improve on and how they're going to help him. But it seems like the coaching staff is very, very excited. The entire coaching staff, like we saw in that clip, that we're listening to Kelvin every word as they were talking with him on the stream. But I think it's interesting to see that versatility. It looks like he's going to be a player that they come in here and they expect a lot out of him from day one, especially with Jawan not going to be here next season.
Yeah, I mean they're selling development. That's what I was listening to from the players that he listed off. They're selling development and being able to coach you hard and help you develop by being coached hard. And some players want that versus going places that maybe not want to be coached or being pushed as hard. So it sounds like they're just being true to who they are as a program. And like he said, they chose him as much as he chose them. So I can't wait to see him. Can't wait to see how it translates. It sounds like he's one of those versatile players like a Jarris Walker per se, who can do it inside and out and have a multi-skill set. And in the college game, not really be positioned. Like he said, in high school, they got him listed as a center. But like Coach just said, with his versatility, he can knock it down from the outside. It's really positionless basketball.
Right.
And it's really what the game is, being able to impact the game, whether scoring, passing, dribble, all those different things. So can't wait to see him. But we was talking about this on many episodes. So how many 5-star recruits will this program pursue? But I think the difference that we all talked about and agreed back in those conversations was the number of one and dones. Yes. So it'll be interesting to see, will the kids be one and dones, or will they still be kids that stay and develop, whether it be 1 or 2 years or whatever the case may be?
Yeah.
Is Milos have an extra year of eligibility?
Who's in?
After this?
Yeah, he's a junior. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So he'll probably
Coach already referenced him coming back.
Yeah, he'll be back. Yeah.
So
I'm visualizing Kris Cenac and JoJo on the floor together.
Oh yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. 6'10" Kris, and then 6'8" and JoJo, that's 7'5" wingspan.
The
inside, outside. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And everybody, in case you did not know or had not read the press release that the school put out, Kris signed last Wednesday. Okay, the last day of signing period. So it was already known. He decided to wait and announce it today, but he signed last Wednesday. So some folks are wondering, well, what is he doing this today when it's after the basketball signing period? Because he signed last Wednesday.
Probably money involved, the sponsors and all that.
Oh yeah. Like I said, that's why he did the decision where he was from the spot. That that's part of it as well. But yeah, he signed, put ink to paper last Wednesday. So the vibe around the game last Friday at Hofstra, against Hofstra, it was already known. Because one of the folks already told me, yeah, we got another press release coming out. I was like, okay, and I knew what that meant. So yeah. But
yeah, I can't wait to see him play. I think, looking forward, you also got the number 1 point guard coming in with Milos coming back. So that backup point guard will be answered next year.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
And then you have a true backup point guard. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so I'm excited. I love to see it. Like I said, now I'm gonna be watching to kind of see, are these potential one and dones, or like what's the viewpoint? I know because just watching the program, just want to see how they approach. There's Coach Sampson. How he said you can't. Well, it's not primarily going to be a young team because you have so much veteranship around them. So you still could sprinkle in some of those 5-stars with a veteran bunch and not build your program on those. And so I like it.
I could see this team getting a veteran big man
in the portal.
Mm-hmm. A legit a big man with size. Someone like a wish list, like a Josh Carlton kind of dude. 7-footer.
But even next year, because thinking next year, you got JVR, you still got Jacob coming back, then you got JoJo and the Kris kid.
You saying some things that may not happen because it might.
I know. I'm just saying. Yeah, I got you. I got you.
In terms of size, because when the portal works both ways, some of the guys here on this year's team may look at it and, when am I going to play? And decide to go elsewhere.
Right.
And then if that happens, then you gotta go get a bigger body. Jacob, as skilled as he is, he may never get more than 215. You know what I'm saying? So you might need to get somebody. And Sid could be that guy as a banger, as a bruiser, but maybe somebody taller than Sid, like a legit 7-footer who's 250, someone like that. But it's just as Crabtree's saying right here. It's amazing. Houston is winning these recruiting battles. The program has come so far. William. Foul trouble. That's why I'm saying 12 minutes. Foul trouble. 2 early fouls, and then fouls and bunties in the second half. That's it. Foul trouble. Unfortunately, foul trouble. And I think his 5th foul was kind of iffy too. But just be consistent on the fouls, on the officiating. What was the total calls?
Total foul calls throughout the game?
55 fouls called in the game. Christ. 30 on the Cougs. 74 free throws attempted. 41 by Bama, 33 by Houston. 29 fouls called in the second half, and just 2 fouls called in overtime. Okay, so I don't make it make sense to me. So all those fouls called in 20 minutes, and then overtime. Well, y'all got overtime now. We're gonna swallow a whistle because that's what happened. But hey, learn from it. Late night tomorrow.
What do you guys think about the turnaround? We haven't seen it much, but this is a very high intense game. They exert a lot of energy, and they got to turn around and play a good quality opponent in Notre Dame.
I think this is a great experience for the tournament right here.
Yeah.
I think Mark Sears he talking about the feel for this game. I think moments like this against high quality teams just prepare you for what's to come down the line. Playing maybe back to back and short things like that. It's a good experience, I think.
I hope next year when they have the second year of the Players era, that it's not in Vegas against Duke, Kansas. Because Duke, Kansas was in Vegas tonight at 8 o'clock tip-off. So that probably took away from some of the crowd, from the environment, things like that. But for the first year, I think it's great. I like when the Cougs play Bama. It's a good matchup.
But I
was thinking about this. I was noticing, keeping track of the Rockets Timberwolves game. Both games started at 7 o'clock. NBA games, y'all know, 48 minutes. That game went to overtime as well. That game finished before this Cougs Bama game. Before they went to overtime, that game was done. That's how many stops and starts this game, the Cougs Bama game, had because of fouls.
Damn.
Yeah.
An NBA game finished ahead of a college game, starting at the same time.
Where they play 8 less minutes of game time.
So, yeah.
That was interesting. That's the first half. There were a lot of players were sitting all over the court.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know, maybe it was the floor had
and it's around the painted area too, like the white painted area, like not necessarily just the free throw area, but right outside it, right around there. A lot of slip and starts.
I think it's about what they've been able to. You're looking at that quite up. I think it's much more the track record that they've put together over the course of the last 4 years.
It's part of the growth of the program.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Constantly in the NCAA tournament every year.
And what does CKS stand for? What is it?
Kelvin
Sampson.
Oh, Coach Kelvin Sampson. Oh. Okay.
I just think it's part of the growth of the program.
Questions too. A lot of those big matches matchups are coming down to the wire down the stretch, so everything just gets magnified. A lot less whistles when you're up 30 points.
Yeah. Yep.
And I don't know if these refs are Big 12 refs. I don't think they are, because Big 12 refs call a different game. Okay, a lot more contact is allowed, and and I hate sounding like that guy, but just be consistent in the whistle. Just be consistent. William, that's a great question, but I have no idea about next year starting five. I have no idea. Kris
Somewhere.
Jojo Tugler.
Jojo Tugler.
You know that. He
Emmanuel.
Unless he go
Isaiah
pro.
Harwell.
Emmanuel.
Probably. And probably Milos. And then Kingston back him up. And then at some point, who knows after that? At some point, know. But yeah, that's a great problem to have. But I have no idea. But for the fans, what are your thoughts on the Cougs possibly entering a one and done era? Getting, Jarris was one and done. Coach Sampson said a few times. Just think how good Jarris would be if he came back for a second year, even though he knew Jarris was not going to do that.
Yeah,
but just imagine
multiple times.
Kris, I think, is a first round pick. Isaiah Harwell is a first round projected draft pick in 26. But what are your thoughts on?
Are they projected one and dones?
Yes.
Yeah, especially their lottery picks. It doesn't really make sense for them to come back.
I'll have to see, because a lot of those projections are just because of their high school recruits. It could change once they actually see them at the college level.
Fair.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because like the Holloway kid from Alabama, like he was a 5-star #1 recruit coming out of high school. I'm pretty sure he was probably projected one and done. So you just never know.
Yeah,
never know. But I like Kris said, I want to see if it turns into that, or what. I just can't see that though with this program. I can't see it. Maybe I can see one of those kids going, but who knows? We never know.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of ifs. Yeah.
Yeah,
But where was it? Here, all right, Mitchell. He's worried about this team can be a top 4 seed and a top 4 Big 12 team. Why are you worried about that? And the offense will get better with more playing time together. With Milos not getting in foul trouble and things like that, and spreading the points around and not just so much on LJ's plate. But the Big 12 is very good on paper, but Arizona's already lost twice. The Cougs already lost twice. I would say lost to Auburn. I mean, Baylor's lost at least twice.
And those were ugly losses too that they lost.
Yeah. So I'm not worried about that. I'm not even thinking about stuff like that. Think about Notre Dame tomorrow, and then the game on Saturday.
Yeah, and Notre Dame is up right now, 8 against Rutgers.
And Rutgers has 2 projected top 5 picks.
Lottery picks. Bailey and Harper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And UConn, they've had a bad stretch in them all. Yeah. Memphis looks real good.
Mm-hmm. PJ Haggerty, I remember him coming out of high school. I know Kris remember PJ.
Yep, getting buckets.
Yep.
So again, I mean, it's November. The cool thing, this is like one of the best weeks of all college basketball. This and I mean Thanksgiving week, really, with all the MTEs, all the tournaments going around the country. It's been great stretches of basketball the last couple of days, and
I'm looking forward to more of it.
Yep, that means us 11. Oh God, an 11:30
tip off
schedule tip.
Yep.
I don't know if the game before will go overtime like Houston and Bama did, but God dang, 11:30
tomorrow.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, man.
That means us Rage Coogs will stream at
so take a nap.
1 in the morning, 2 in the morning.
That's okay. I got a long day ahead of me anyway tomorrow, so it'd be right perfect. I don't plan on probably getting much sleep anyway.
We'll take this opportunity to promote all of you guys. Thank the crowd. We've had a good amount of viewers for this show of Let's Rage Coogs. Talk about, unfortunately, a loss, but it was a very, very entertaining down on the wire loss, and it was a good test for Houston. And like we mentioned earlier in the show, that there's a lot that they can learn from. I think similar to that Auburn game, and hopefully next tomorrow or Thursday morning, whenever the game ends up tipping off, that Houston's able to stay out of foul trouble. And I want to see Houston down the stretch in crunch time with their main horses, especially in the backcourt with Milos and LJ, because I think it's a different game if Milos and Emmanuel are on the floor, especially in overtime.
Well, one thing I want to, you touched on it earlier in the show, Andy. The low three that he hit in the corner three was from LJ and the ball in his hands.
Setting him up. Yep.
So I want to see some more of that, but got to avoid foul trouble for that. So that's another option, another wrinkle that this team can display going forward this season.
Definitely.
Well, that's pretty much gonna do it for tonight's episode of Let's Rage Coogs. Like we said just a few minutes ago, we'll be right back at it tomorrow, really Thursday morning. So we'll be here on a Thanksgiving edition of Let's Rage Coogs in the wee hours of the morning in Houston, depending on wherever you're watching in the country or around the world. We thank you to those that tuned in on this episode of Let's Rage Coogs. Once again, the final score from Las Vegas: the Cougars fall in the opener of the Players Era Festival tournament, 85-80 to the number 9 Alabama Crimson Tide. And Houston will be back tomorrow, scheduled for an 11:30 p.m. tip-off against Notre Dame, who's currently playing now. I'd like to thank again our sponsors for today's episode of Let's Rage Coogs, beginning with Steve Saxenian, who's the primary sponsor of today's episode, and he has been the primary sponsor of Let's Rage Coogs for each and every single football and men's basketball postgame show. And of course, we also like to say thank you to Star Pizza, courtesy of Mike and Jennifer Pittman, with 3 locations throughout the Houston area. Star Pizza is your go-to stop before or after the game. Check them out online at starpizza.net or on social media at starpizzahou. They constantly have different specials throughout the week, and most definitely be sure to check them out on Tuesdays and Fridays for their all-you-can-eat pizza lunch buffet special. With that being said, next time you stop at Star Pizza, be sure you tell them that you heard about them at Let's Rage Coogs. And once again, the final score, 85-80. LJ Cryer ties a career high that he had back with Baylor, 30 points. But the Cougars obviously do fall short. Kris, I'll toss it over to you. Any final thoughts on the game? Anything you'd like to promote?
Just thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you for your comments and your questions and supporting Let's Rage Coogs on my channel, the Houston Roundball Review, on YouTube, as well as Paul Samajama on YouTube. This has been fun. This is what we do after every basketball game. We're going to do it again Thursday morning after the Cougs game against Notre Dame, early. So everybody who's watching us, come back and wish us happy Thanksgiving as we discuss the Cougs game against Notre Dame. As always, hope you enjoyed the clip with comments from Coach Kelvin Sampson about talking about the newest Coug, Kris Cenac, and his commitment that he announced today. And this is fun, and as always, y'all know this, the Houston Round Ball Review since 1994. Local name, global perspective.
Man, I got to start by thanking everyone who joined in, who tapped in, even for a minute, 2 minutes, or for the entire duration of the show, commented or not commented. We definitely appreciate all of you guys. You guys keep us going. And also, another shout out to our sponsors, from Star Pizza to the Saxenian Family. We appreciate you guys as well. And learned a lot from this game. I mean, although all the things we talked about, different points, like Kris pointed out, there was late in that game, up to with a questionable foul that shouldn't have been called, which tied the game and which led to overtime. And so no need to hit the panic button like a lot of people do after one loss and live in the moment. This team has a bright future. I'm excited to watch them grow, watch them gel. You'll be along for the ride, and maybe, hopefully, they hit their peak when the time comes. We'll be back tomorrow, late, early, whatever you want to categorize. We'll be happy. We'll be in a thankful mood. It'll be after a win. So, as always, go Cougs.
Thank you, Fred. Looks like he's a first-time commenter. So,
yep. Thank you, Fred.